Good morning, welcome to Morning View. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 20th of September. So, looking at the euro dollar first as ever, and I mentioned yesterday that euro got a bit oversold. Well, it's worked that basically off now. It managed to, during the day yesterday, get back on from a 4-hourly perspective, back into hit the weekly pivot, the 21, which is most important for my oversold signal. And it's pretty much done. Now, it really now depends on what next. To me, it's still erring, chopping here, and there's a good chance we'll spend a fair amount of the day chopping again. At the moment, perhaps when this hourly candle's finished, if it breaks the top of it, there would be a trend line from the high of yesterday downwards sitting on it. Now, if that holds and it breaks that, well, possibly I could be looking back for a retest of yesterday's high, maybe the R1 pivot. Alternatively, really, it's quite simple on this hourly chart. If it breaks that 34, which is finding support off at the moment, the hourly 34, well, then I become bearish and look for yesterday's lows in the S1. So it's an either or at the moment. It's not too clear on showing its hand. So at the moment, level, but I'm just waiting for the signal effectively there. Looking at cable, and well, cable took quite a hit on Friday. Yesterday, it tried its best again. I think it was it was oversold here. Hasn't yet got up to its 21, so there is the potential for it to do that. The weekly pivot as well is up there, so still showing the signs of being oversold. It had a good march up there eventually yesterday, never quite got there. If it starts moving up from here, really need to take it off the 60-minute signal, maybe a break of the highs here, but I'll watch this because it could easily just run into that 50 and roll over again. So may have to watch this. I am sort of bullish on it. It's got the opportunity to run up towards the daily R1. The weekly pivot's above us still, as I said, but we could run into that 50. So erring on the bullish side, just still from the, as I say, the signal from the 4 hourlies here. The dailies, the dailies would still be erring to the downside, of course, with lower highs, lower lows. So it's a sort of whether or not it can get back up. It may just run into the 21, not make the weekly pivot, and then roll. So I'll be watching, if I was into a position, watching that when it comes to taking some of the profit. Okay, dollar yen. Well, it's pretty much within range still, and it's a bit rangy bound, although it's given lower highs, lower lows on the 4 hourly. It's not at all so clear in that respect, but when you come down to the hourlies, well, it's broken through the Asian session there. The 5 o'clock candle broke that bearish flag sort of pattern, and it really looks like it's heading south at the moment. Now, normally in the olden days, I would be saying this is pretty good. That should see the pound and the euro going up, but it doesn't always work like this, and we've been often seeing the yen coming down, dollar going up. So against the other pairs. So it doesn't give me too much clue either way, really. At the moment, though, it does look like it may be heading for the S1. It's not a pair I trade very much these days at the moment, anyway. Aussie dollar, well, Reserve Bank of Australia, the anti-royalists won't be too happy about that in Australia, and I do apologise right this moment. But the Reserve Bank of Australia has left things alone, seems to be comfortable with its policy stance at the moment. So it's holding firm there. Not really seeing anything either way here. It's not particularly overbought. I've sold higher lows, higher highs, so it's in a bullish zone. Hourly perspective, looking at this hourly chart, but I have also got the daily pivot. I'm just looking at the kissed the daily pivot. Maybe I've caught it on a more composite price, or some brokers would have got that. So I would probably have to disregard that. And it does look like it's got the chance for yesterday's highs, maybe that 500 again, or the daily R1. Canadian dollar, well, before I do that, it's just a quick flick of oil. What's doing? Well, it's heading up again. There's a bit of a gap there through the midnight hours. Don't know what's that, whether it's my feed. But luring a little towards more to potential upside. At least it's consolidating, if nothing else, which So look at the Canadian dollar. It's still not got up to its 200 MA. It's tried so many times. Had that sort of divergency sort of move yesterday, which, well, you could argue it's working that off. It's run all the way down to the sort of 33 level on the RSI, so it's pretty much worked that off and not really shown us too much clue where it's going here at the moment. It's not the easiest one to follow. I mean, it did chop quite a lot yesterday and eventually ran up, but mainly attributable to oil prices and comments. And then we're sitting here now in no man's land, so maybe a break towards the highs of this current candle may see us running up back towards yesterday's highs, maybe further through the R1 and further. Alternatively, if oil starts getting a move on, I'll be looking for a break of the daily pivot. Pivot is untouched at the moment. Would like to see that touched. If that gets broken and to see it through the 3400, it's run out support then, and maybe we've got a chance of riding back down towards the S1 sort of area, yesterday's lows. Okay, that's pretty much it. News-wise today, well, we've already had the monetary policy minutes out for the Aussie dollar, which, as I say, showed they were comfortable with things at the moment. We've got housing permits and building permits, should I say, and housing starts out later this afternoon at 1:30. I was expecting a little bit, perhaps a move for that, but I think even a cough will actually get the US dollar buying or selling, or rumours going around it at the moment. So maybe we'll see something at 1:30, but it's never been a big mover for quite some years now. But as things start warming up, perhaps it will be again. Nothing else after that GDT, even New Zealand was tentative later on for Canadian dollar at 5.50. We've got the Bank of Canada governor speaking at 5.50. So maybe if you're hanging around for the evening session, you may see some volatility at that point. But otherwise, that's it for me. So have a great one. Bye for now.